So let's dive now into probably the main purpose why we're using service workers, providing offline support for our web application. That means that users can use our web application even if they are offline. Which of course leads us to the question, why would this be beneficial? When would you use a web app if you have no internet connection? Well, actually, there are a couple of use cases where you might have no internet connection and still want to interact with a web app. Here are some examples. Think about a big sports event or any event where a large crowd of people is coming together. Now, there you might have a poor connection or no connection at all from time to time. Still, maybe you want to read that news article and navigate to another news article or do something like that. Use a web application where you only need a couple of static assets in the end or a couple of images and the web page would work. But it doesn't because you have no internet connection. Well, with service workers, you will learn that you can pre-cache, or in general, that you can cache certain files, assets your web app might need, and therefore can still display this page and even allow navigation whilst your application is offline. Super useful in such circumstances. Another example would be maybe in an elevator, so places where you have no connection at all and you know it. Still, in such places, especially in the elevator for example, you only have no connection for a couple of seconds or minutes. So it's super annoying that you kind of can't spend that time, especially in the elevator, with a more useful task like browsing some article or fetching some email a colleague sent you. Now with service workers, again, you can cache certain parts of the web application to provide it to the user when no internet connection is there. And therefore you can still continue using the web app even though you entered a place where you have no internet connection. And finally, and probably the most important use case, Li-Fi. So that's Wi-Fi, which just is not. So that means you think you have a Wi-Fi connection, your phone displays that it has a Wi-Fi connection, but we've all been there. Sometimes, especially in hotspots or in hotels maybe, you can't get that network request through the Wi-Fi. So there you simply can't get the request out to the internet even though you think you have a connection. In such cases, your whole application might simply crash and show you the "you have no internet connection" screen, even though in theory, well, you just wanted to keep on using it and connection might be back in a couple of seconds. So there again, it's great if you can use service workers to cache certain parts of your web application to provide them to the user even when no internet connection is there. Let's have a look at how we exactly do this, how this caching works and which feature we use there in the next lecture.